this wild out. Spiritual impact produce riqueza material. Material en la verdad. No puedes tratar con personas que van a hacer que parezca que dijiste.
This world must have a Christian that is full of the Holy Ghost and fire. El diablo no está por encima de ti. El diablo no está a tu nivel. وبكرة تحت رجولك أعظم حركة لله في تاريخ الأرض. 我不是在旁观，我正与你们一同参与其中。I see revival sweeping over this earth. Criez Amen. Encore une fois, Amen.
Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm in Louisiana. And at 9 years old, I was told that I would never have kids. I started having surgeries, and I've had about 14 surgeries that have taken my right tube, right ovary. The left tube is completely scarred up, and I have hardly a fourth of my left ovary. So I was told there is no possible way except IVF. Once we did IVF twice, we did not go back because we were told that it just wouldn't work anymore. We went to the Festival of Life in 2017 here in Plaquemine, Louisiana, where Jonathan Shuttlesworth was, and he spoke out into the crowd, and he kind of leaned towards my direction, and he said, there's a woman here who was told that she would, I'm getting goosebumps, who was told that she would never have babies.
I also believe at this altar, there's a lady that because of how you lived before you got saved, things got messed up on the inside of you, and they told you you had like a medical episode, and they told you you'll never be able to have a baby again.
And she has hardly no female organs or no female organs at all. But I'm here to tell you to stand firm, stand in your faith that you will have babies, that God will bless you.
But as proof that God has saved your soul, God recreates your ovaries, your womb, and your uterus, and you'll have as many children as you like once you get married. In Jesus' name. That's a fact.
The next year is when I got pregnant with my first baby after trying for over 14 years for a baby. 2 years later, I got pregnant with my second, and 2 years later, I have my third. Three miracle babies when I was told I'd never have any, with hardly any female organs. Like Jonathan said, don't give up. Have that faith.
Revival today. This is Stefan from Feed the Hungry, sharing with you the incredible impact you are making around the world. Today I'm in the Kiryandongo resettlement camp. It's a refugee camp in Uganda for South Sudanese and Sudanese people. Over 130,000 people live in this one camp. The majority of them are women and children, and there are about 30,000 kids that go to the primary schools here at the camp. And at these schools, they get a hot meal every day. The meals that you send keep the kids coming back to school. It allows them to learn, to laugh, to play, to focus on their future rather than on their past. And it's been a tremendous year in 2024. Close to 600,000 children across 24 nations get to taste and see that the Lord is good because of your compassion. And in fact, this year we've been sharing a little bit with you about children caught in conflict zones. That might be in Afghanistan or the Middle East, or the children that are in Ukraine during the tremendous conflict that's taking place there. Around Central Africa, with different conflicts arising, refugees have to flee their villages, have to flee their homes, or face certain death or terrible violence, and they come to find safety where they can. You are reaching out to the least of these. You are really helping provide food and a future to these children. And it reminds me of what the Lord spoke to Moses in Exodus chapter 3. He said, I have seen the misery of the people. I have heard their cries of distress. I am concerned, so I will come down and rescue them. And you are really acting as the hands and feet of Jesus in fulfillment of God's heart where he sees the misery of others caught in terrible situations. He hears their cries, he has concern, and he comes and he rescues. That's what he's done in our lives. That's what you're doing in the lives of these children here at Kiryandongo and in the lives of children and hurting people all around the world. Thank you for having a heart to reach out. Thank you for answering the call of God. When I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. And thank you for sharing the hope of Jesus Christ with those that really need to hear it.
Back in 2017, we had found out he had a tumor in his arm that was, I guess you could say it was just growing. In 2019, he ended up having surgery to get it removed. 6 months later, we go back to the doctor and it's back. This tumor right here is tumor number 2. In November of 2020, we went in and we got surgery to get it removed. May of 2021, we went back and his tumor was back, which is this one, tumor number 3 right here. In August, when Jonathan came for the summer revival, he prayed over my son for healing. And we went back to the doctor in September of 2021, and the doctor told us himself that he was expecting to come in and tell us that he was going to need surgery number 3 for tumor number 3 that had came back, and was actually very, very surprised whenever he went in and he saw that the tumor was gone. Completely gone. There's nothing there. The tumor looks like it's healed. The bone looks completely healed, like nothing was even there. There was no surgery that ever happened or anything on that bone. And we just wanted to say thank you, because through him, God did his miracle on my son that we literally thought that we were going to have to be going through for the rest of his life, tumor after tumor, and we were just so thankful that it never became cancerous.
Hey, how you doing, Evangelist Jonathan? Hey, just wanted to say we thank you very much for being a part of what we're doing here in Hana, Maui, Hawaii. Just wanted to let you know we have been making some great impact throughout the town of Hana. We have been preaching now for over 200 days at the revival services that are being holding at the courthouse. And we just wanted to thank you, because throughout the course of us preaching over 200 days, we have probably seen the entire town come to the revival services. Many people are getting changed. Many people are getting transformed. We even had people move over from the mainland to move to Hana to come and help us with the ministry. And out of the revival that we've been doing, we also started a church called the River Church Hana, and we started that on Resurrection Sunday. And it's just been so powerful. We did several outreaches already throughout the town of Hana and the rest of the island. And we just wanted to say we thank you very much for being a part of our lives. And we look forward to seeing what's going to happen here in Hana, Maui, Hawaii, and the impact and the power of God that's gonna shake the town and transform lives and change people's families throughout the course of this town. Well, we thank you, we God bless you, and have a great day.
Well, my name is Anthony Fierro. I'm from Carlsbad, New Mexico, born and raised. I am a first-generation Christian. Before I left to what Noah has seen, my dad was inflamed with psoriasis. His legs looked like they were burnt. His skin looked almost like it was leprosy. He's been going and he's been suffering through pain where he's crying. My dad's 76 years old and it's hard for him to deal with it. But I went to what Noah has seen in faith for my family, for my parents, for my kids, for everything that I stand for my family. So when I went up there, seeing that little boy getting healed from all the eczema and the things that were on his skin and getting cleared, that gave me so much faith. And I kept that, and it was a seed planted in me. That when I came back, I called my dad, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said that he went to see a doctor in Lubbock, and they said they gave him some cream, and they were gonna try to coat it with cream, and that they were gonna go back, and it was the worst they have seen in anybody. I said, well, listen here, Dad, there is a little boy in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, that got cured from this. In the name of Jesus, they prayed over him, and it was cured, it was prayed over, it was done. I said, in the same faith, that they prayed over him. I'm praying over you over the phone that in the name of Jesus, that has to go, Lord. It has to go right now. My dad can't be in this no more pain. And I can hear my dad start to get emotional on the other end. And I left it at that. I said, Dad, in the name of Jesus, what he did for that little boy in Pittsburgh, he'll do for you. So I left it at that, and I went back a couple days later from their 53rd anniversary. And as soon as I walked into the door, my dad lifted up his pants. And glory to God, everything was cleared up. He lifted up his shirt, it was gone. He lifted up his arms, everything was gone. He said, after you prayed for me, son. He goes, after you prayed for me, I received what you told me. I believe what happened to that little boy because I know you went up there to see God. So thank you, Jesus, through the power of Christ. My dad is no longer in pain, and everything, all that stuff, the ointment's gone, everything is gone. In the name of Jesus, all glory to God. I believe that we have to go, we have to be pioneers for our parents, for our families, and I went as a pioneer to what Noah has seen, to get the revelation and to stand in the gap for my family, for myself, for my wife, and all my kids and my grandkids, that they will never have to suffer in the name of Jesus.
Hi, Revival Today Church. I am so excited about what God is doing. Since you started supporting our ministry, God has quadrupled the fruit of our ministry. God spoke to my heart. Looking back at 20 years of ministry, we had reached 500,000 people for Christ. And the Lord spoke to me. He said, Chris, it took you 20 years to reach this many people. Don't you think I can give you the same fruit in the next 2 years? And we took the challenge. He said, yes, Lord, we're gonna go for it. And everything was going well. We were on target until 2020 when COVID hit the world and the airports were shut down, travel was shut down. In spite of COVID, as soon as we saw the littlest window of opportunity, we went back to Ethiopia, well, where so many evangelists were preaching to cameras. We were going and preaching to crowds. I didn't even know if I would get into the country. Everything was so unsure. Just booked the ticket, got on the plane, went to Ethiopia, and God just opened the doors. I got through, and we started preaching to massive crowds. It was amazing. And you know, it was so awesome because God is faithful to His word. At the end of 2020, you know, in fact, it was the last service that we did. We crossed the threshold of 1 million by 1,500 people. It was amazing. We were just thanking God. And you know, last year we crossed the 2 million threshold, and now we're aiming for the 3rd million. God has also opened the doors for us in South America. This year we had our first crusade in Colombia, and what a wonderful outreach it was. It was so wonderful to see God move in such a wonderful way. Now next year the doors are just opening. We have invitations from Honduras. We have invitations from Ecuador, from Cuba, and back to Colombia. And you know, it's just, there's so much work and so much to do. But I tell you, it is a joy to do it. This year, we are kicking off our School of Evangelism. It's called A Great Multitude from Revelation chapter 7. Thank you for standing with us, for being a part of the fruit that God has given. And may the Lord richly bless you. We love you guys. A big hug from us, from the CETA team, and may the Lord richly reward you.
The following program contains political discourse, opinions, and footage that many viewers may find offensive. It should not be viewed by anyone ever.
And there isn't one of us that doesn't want to be someplace else.
This is what we do. Live for nothing. Very good. Die for something.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
I can feel it down in my plums.
She a hoe. She a hoe. She a hoe.
Yeah, I'm out the Queen side, grew up in Jamaica, now in Mar-a-Lago, but I'm New York forever. My way like Sinatra, that's how I made it here. I can make it anywhere, Trump towers everywhere. Mobile with the Riz, no, you never really see those. Sip a Diet Coke, grab a Big Mac at McDonald's. Trump building Majesty, 40 Wall Street. Catch me at the plaza, shooting Home Alone scenes, cruising down Broadway. Jet black Cadillac, motorcade slow drop, a fortune like Sajak. Build a skyscraper, Olay's Tower, made another billion, it's like a superpower. Used to hang with John, catch me at the Knicks game. Now I'm sitting ringside, MSG will scream my name. Riggers think I'll tap out, they don't know my pedigree. Tell by my attitude that I'm most definitely from New York. Yeah. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing he can't do. Still king of New York. Yeah. He'll make the city feel brand new. Red hats will inspire you. MAGA for New York, New York, New York. Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. MAGA let the love float, Democrats corrupt, yo we know it's do or die. We taking it all back, so feeling, funkin', amp central force when we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get meme, hitting lives coast to coast, win on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve just like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got songs. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take DC, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump.
Usually, the mentally retarded are divided into classifications: the educable, the trainable, and the custodial. Obviously, we can only assess the abilities or potential of the mentally retarded on an individual basis. Seemingly random motions and movements are fairly common among the custodial retarded, and they may take many forms. Sometimes there are motions which seem to have no meaning whatever and may even cause unintentional self-inflicted injuries. The vast majority of the mentally retarded are intelligent enough that they can be taught a great many things. However, there's a wide range of ability even among those considered educable. And their ability to learn obviously varies according to their level of intelligence. Equally important is a stimulating environment. However, we must remember to set realistic standards that are not too high for the individual. Many of the trainable retarded can learn to take certain kinds of household responsibilities, some of which may be more complex than they are usually given credit for. It would be wrong to expect a mentally retarded person to become a master craftsman. The standards are too high. But even in the skilled trades, for example, the mentally retarded can be trained to become valuable assistants. Who are the mentally retarded? They are people. They come in both sexes and in all sizes, shapes, creeds, and colors. Wherever people live, there also live the mentally retarded.
Good morning, everyone. You are watching Check the News, and actually, wow, that was an abrupt end. To the clapping. Today's title is Drones Mystery Solved, Police ID, School Shooter, and a lot more. Has America gone pro-Trump? I have articles that prove that Democrats are even turning for Trump this week. So how about that? We're going to start off, of course, with none other than Check the Market. Hey!
Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
New time. Every Tuesday, you can catch them here on Check the News. I love this. I love this.
Great.
This is so great. Okay, fantastic. Take it away.
Dow Jones down more than 200 points. We are now a 9-day losing streak.
Okay. What is the cause?
Or as I like to call it now, the Down Jones.
Okay, the Down Jones. Does this have anything to do with the drones?
No. I don't think so. I think it's just a pullback because there was such a, even going into the election, the markets were up so much that there's a little bit of a downturn now. And it's just people taking profits, cycling from some stocks into the others. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Nothing to be concerned about.
No, but it is the first 9-day losing streak since the 70s.
Okay, well.
All right, let's see the first article. TikTok calls on the Supreme Court to issue emergency order to block potential U.S. ban of the popular app. TikTok and critics of potential ban say the law is an attack on freedom of speech and expression. TikTok asked the Supreme Court on Monday to step in and issue an emergency order to block the law that would ban the popular video sharing platform in the U.S. starting next month, unless its China-based parent company ByteDance agreed to sell it. Lawyers for TikTok and ByteDance requested that the court step in before the January 19th deadline to sell. What's happening on January 20th?
I wonder what it is. What could it be?
Or face a ban in the U.S., the Associated Press reported. A similar request was filed by content creators who use the platform to make an income. A modest delay in enforcing the act will create breathing room for this court to conduct an orderly review and the new administration to evaluate this matter.
So tell me why they're banning TikTok. So is there evidence that it brainwashes you in any way, shape, or form? Like, what's the? Because I mean, I'm sure that it has no difference than what's happening on Instagram or any of the other like swipe up kind of apps. So why TikTok? Is it because of their ties to CCP?
Yes, it's owned by China. And so that's why it's considered a risk to national security, because they could potentially use the app, put videos in to propagandize the American population.
As if that's not already happening.
Well,
there's more to it.
Yeah, but
because they use propaganda in every forum.
Correct, but the Chinese are in charge of this propaganda, not the U.S. So, that's the problem.
I guess it's all right, fine. That's great.
So they're taking this to the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens there. They have a January 19th deadline.
What does this shirt make me look like? God.
Next.
Help me, God. I look like a thumb.
Anti-woke investment firm to release a new ETF that shuns DEI-focused companies.
Oh.
So if you want to invest only in companies that don't have DEI stuff,
that's great.
There will be this new ETF that comes out. Azoria CEO says stocks underperform when a company commits to hiring on DEI versus merit.
Come on, Delta. You can come back.
Yes, Delta, Boeing.
Boeing needs to come back, man.
John Deere for a while.
Uh-huh.
A bunch of other companies. Harley Davidson went woke for a while. One US-based investment firm is providing a new way for Americans to cut out companies from their portfolios that prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives over bottom lines. I think it'll be part of President Trump's historic mandate, calling out these companies, calling out government practices that put hiring on race and gender as opposed to skill and merit. Azorio co-founder and CEO James Fishback said, continue. Our new ETF is coming out in 2025. We'll call out these 36 companies not just for being unethical, but for pursuing value-destructive behavior that hurts shareholders. Fishback's company recently announced the rollout of its own exchange-traded funds, which will include all S&P 500 stocks, except 36 that allegedly use DEI hiring targets. Some of those names not included in the ETF are Starbucks, Best Buy, Vanguard, and BlackRock.
Clearly BlackRock.
In a recent New York Post op-ed, Fishback clarified his stance that companies that hire on skill and merit will outperform those that hire on race and gender.
No doubt.
Look, if you commit to hiring, and we get it. Yeah. Next.
Oh, there he is. Go back. Go back. That guy.
Yes, that's Fishback.
What's his name?
Fishback. Kind of looks like a fish.
He does. You know he's Cuban? He's a Cuban American. Yeah. All right, anyway, next. He does look like a fish.
Apple reportedly has foldable and thinner iPhone models in the pipeline. I put this in for Rom.
Nice. I don't even think he's here.
The thickness of the thin iPhone will reportedly clock in at less than 8 millimeters.
What's that? What would be that?
That is less than a centimeter.
Oh.
And way less than a meter.
Way less.
Apple reportedly has an iPhone model that's thinner and another that folds in the pipeline. The tech giant is working to launch the 2 new designs in the coming years. They're going to launch this phone like there's never been anything like it.
It's a bona fide flip phone?
It is.
Like we're going back in time? What?
Nostalgia. So, but Samsung already has a flip phone.
Right.
With a flip screen and everything. But yeah. Apple is going to pretend like they're the first ones that are going to bring this out to the market.
Without a doubt. Without poor iPhone.
It's going to be huge. The stock's going to go up.
What's going on, Apple? They need like Elon Musk or something to bring in some sort of life into.
If what's his name was still alive, Steve Jobs, he would clean house at
100%,
Apple.
100%, no doubt, no doubt.
The tech giant is working to launch the 2 new designs in the coming years, with the skinny device targeting 25 and the foldable phone slated to potentially arrive the year or so after that.
So exciting.
Wall Street Journal reported. So the thickness is going to be less than 8 millimeters, but it's going to have less complex cameras.
How about a robot phone?
So we can have grainy pictures again like we did on the Motorola. What was that, Razor?
Yeah, the Razor. Oh, yeah.
So this is gonna be great.
Still about $1,000.
Not sure if it's gonna affect the stock though. Let's be honest.
Oh no.
Yeah, Samsung, Google, Motorola, and Huawei already sell foldable phones. You can actually get a foldable phone right now, Motorola Razr, probably on eBay for $50.
Oh, without a doubt.
All right, next. The Fed is likely to cut rates, but some worry it may not be the right move. Is it the right move? Respondents to the CNBC Fed survey for December are sure the Federal Reserve will cut rates on Wednesday, tomorrow, but they are less sure whether it should, amid forecasts for something higher inflation and lower unemployment than the prior survey. 93% see a quarter-point cut coming. Only 63% believe it's what the Fed ought to do. The outlook for 25 is just for 2 more quarter-point cuts, down from 3 in the last survey, bringing the funds rate down to 3.8% by this time next year, and 3.4, or just above the average neutral rate by the end of 2026. Is the Fed going to cut? How is that going to affect the markets? We'll be watching all of those things And we can go to the next one. What's the headline for this?
Or is that the continuation? Is this a new one?
Yeah, it's a new one. Well, the Dow Jones can't get it together lately. 30 stock average fell for an 8th straight session on Monday and now a 9th. They are still down 263 points as of right now. Continuing its pullback since closing above 45,000 for the first time ever on December 4th. This also marked its longest losing streak since another 8-day slide that ended in 2018. For context, and the culprit this time around appears to be a rotation out of cyclical stocks, closely tied to the fortunes of the economy, into more technology-focused names. Chevron is down more than 6%, so is that a buying opportunity? Sherwin-Williams and Caterpillar have lost 5.2% and 4.1%. Amazon has climbed 5.6%, and Apple and Microsoft have also advanced 3.3% and 2%. So, as you can see, there's always opportunity in the markets there. Here's what behind the Dow's epic losing streak. The biggest Dow decliners: UnitedHealth, Nvidia, TRV, not sure what that is, Chevron, Sherwin-Williams, Cat. Then you have Microsoft, Visa, Apple.
UnitedHealth is the CEO is dead. Is that the same guy?
Yes.
Wow.
Down 13.9%. Another headwind for the Dow has been UnitedHealth, on top of the scrutiny around the health insurance industries that followed the murder of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The stock has taken a hit as Trump signals to push a knockout pharmacy benefit managers companies. We have a thing called the middleman, Trump told reporters on Monday. You know the middleman, right? The horrible middleman that makes more money, frankly, than the drug companies, and they don't do anything except they're a middleman. We're going to knock out the middleman. Well said. UnitedHealth is the biggest laggard.
Did you watch that?
I did not.
His address, my gosh. It was so rich. I had trouble just isolating some of the best stuff. It was nonstop. The guy is a G. Oh my freaking goodness. He was roasting people up there. Just, it's masterful. That guy, man. What a brain.
And he says it in a way people can understand.
How do you not
Like
understand
most
what that
politicians.
was, that middleman?
There's a horrible middleman, and he's making more money than the drug companies.
No doubt.
I got it.
We get it. Wow.
All right, next. We can go to the next one. Here we go. Congo files lawsuits against Apple in France and Belgium, accusing the company of using minerals pillaged from the Central African nation in its products. So this is one thing that not a lot of these companies talk about.
Clearly.
Tesla, Apple, a lot of these companies that focus on the green economy and the, things like that. They will never tell you that they send kids in the Congo down into mines so they can mine these minerals that then are put into your smartphone, etc. So their DEI practices, they're just a bunch of hypocrites, let's be honest. But this is, Congo has now filed lawsuits against Apple in France and Belgium because of the minerals that are being pillaged. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm also not saying it's not the case. But a lot of these companies, especially in the minimal rich areas, often have rebellions and killings and civil war. I wonder who's behind those things.
Makes sense.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, it makes absolute sense.
Next.
So disgusting.
It is.
Oh.
Here we go. Argentina's economy
Look at those baby
session.
blues. Wow.
I didn't even notice that.
Look at his
Is that
eyes.
real?
Those are real.
My goodness.
That's hero status. That's like Superman status. Those are
That's
Superman
literally the
blue eyes.
Argentinian flag in his eyes.
Oh my gosh, you're not lying. Oh my goodness. Do you believe this to be true?
What's that?
The exits recession and a milestone. All of a sudden, he's been in power for how many years? 2 years.
Not even.
Not even. And then it just could it be?
Yes.
I mean, so then think about what's going to happen when Elon Musk and Vivek are at the helm of Doge.
Yes.
For the United States. I mean, think about how horrific Argentina's economy was. And it exits recession.
One of the biggest factors for economic growth is productivity. And
that's your guy.
If you cut 80% of government jobs, people will all of a sudden become very productive so that they can fight for the private jobs that are available.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're going to give it their all, they're going to give their best, and they're going to be productive, which is going to increase economic output.
Amazing.
So it's all of this, work from home. Did you see that one study? 86% of government workers that are on the work from home, program work less than 40 hours a week.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
86% of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, if they all if a lot of those jobs get cut, because a lot of those are useless, then they're going to have to fight for a private sector job, and they're going to have to be productive.
Yeah. Capitalism is delicious.
Oh, yeah. So Argentina exits recession.
That's amazing.
They said it
What a
couldn't
guy.
be done. They criticized him for taking a chainsaw to 80% of the... Didn't he hold a chainsaw?
I don't...
Something like that?
Remember that, but I'm not...
I think
wouldn't put it past him. Guy is amazing.
You saw the one where he did the whiteboard and he just cut the departments. He's
yes.
Ministry of Education, gone.
Yes.
Ministry of this, gone.
Yes.
Amazing.
Just amazing.
So it can be done. Argentina is an example of that. All right, next. Game theory has started to play out at the nation-state level as countries will try to acquire some Bitcoin or digital gold as they view it. So the European Member of Parliament says Donald Trump will create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So what is the EU doing? So now
Now we're spearheading movements again.
Exactly.
Praise the Lord. We're not playing from behind. Listen, he's not even in power.
Isn't
this so amazing?
Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. He's in power. He's basically, everybody's not moving. They don't give a...
He was just in France.
He was just in France.
He was there. Where was the president? Exactly. He is. I mean, let's be honest. He's already...
Slurring his words.
He's already the president. It's time to change the paradigm and protect our people from inflation. Let's see it. This is actually pretty good. I usually don't like watching the European Parliament.
3 years ago, across the Atlantic, the president of El Salvador decided to invest in Bitcoins for his country. At the time, he was ridiculed by the political class and the IMF.
Yes.
He now shows a 100% return, with hundreds of millions of dollars available for his people, for security, and for the sovereignty of his country. The whole world is now getting ready to take advantage of this revolution in decentralized finance. Donald Trump is going to create a strategic reserve of Bitcoin for the United States. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the US Federal Reserve, is now talking about digital gold. Bitcoin is skyrocketing. And what about the European Union? What is the European Union doing? It's squandering our money on unbelievable waste. It continues to accumulate tragically inflationary deficits. It insists on regulating, taxing, and holding back. It's time to change the paradigm.
All right, enough.
It's time to protect our people from inflation.
So the European Union, I mean, it's incredible to see how up until 2010, 2008, 2009, 2010, the European Union on a graph and the United States were together going up in economic output, economic growth. And then at that point was when the European Union started doing all of these
open border
things,
policies?
all of these policies, all of this government overreach. The European Union got more power than the countries have. And then you start seeing it go like this. The United States started skyrocketing and Europe is it was stagnant and slightly down.
Eesh. They
need massive help.
Oh, without a doubt.
So that's...
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
With people at the helm like Macron, who's busy sucking off freaking Xi Jinping.
The European Union, and that's coming from a European.
Yeah, that's too bad. Talking about Europeans, what do you think is going to happen in Canada? Trudeau is in hot water.
Those like betting websites, like they had for the election, they're saying that within the next 2 years, there's an 80% chance that he's gone.
Meaning he's going to step down.
Step down, get voted out, vote of no confidence, whatever the case may be. But there's an 80% chance that he's gone within 2 years.
I sent Jessica in Canada a tweet that was, basically taking a shot in the dark, like that he was going to actually step down.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of scrutiny that he's under right now.
I mean,
and especially with the tariffs and stuff, and then Trump basically emasculating the guy.
Yeah.
The governor, calling him the governor of Canada. Oh my gosh. Yes. We're going to cover that in a little bit. Okay, continue. Skilly.
You guys leave me no choice. Sorry, Tuesday humor. Markets in turmoil.
I bet this is not going to make any sense to me.
When you see this, it's time to buy. So when all the media is saying markets in turmoil and it's red and it's scary, that's when it's time to buy. And when they say markets are skyrocketing and everything's green, that's when you sell.
Interesting.
You'll actually make money that way, markets in turmoil. That's why it's a little bit of Tuesday humor. If you're an investor, this is actually a buy signal usually. Continue.
Oh, that's it. Is that all the content that you had?
That was it, yes.
All right. What I was going to say something. Go back so that I can go back a little bit. Markets in turmoil. I had a question for you because of this, and now it's just totally gone. Totally gone. What was I going to say? Darn, dingle. Markets going red. It's gone.
Bitcoin's doing good.
It's gone forever.
106,000.
Oh, that's very good.
It was up to 108,000 this morning.
That's very good.
Hit another all-time high.
So Bitcoin is what? Where is it at? Is it just kind of like coasting at this point? Or is it going down? Is it going up?
It's still going up.
Okay.
Yep.
So, man, Bitcoin. Gotta love some Bitcoin.
XRP's at 259.
What was it at its all-time high, XRP?
All-time high, the highest point it ever was, it was 330 something.
Okay, so you're not that far. That's great. Is that one projected to move up? According to Doug?
It is going to move up. They're projecting.
Does Bitcoin, as Bitcoin goes, so does all crypto? Or is that not necessarily?
There's usually a delayed reaction. So Bitcoin will go first and then the other cryptos will go after.
So say Bitcoin hits 1 million.
Then usually there's like a delayed, a couple of days after, a couple of weeks after is usually when everything else starts going up.
Would you say that Bitcoin going into 1 million would be like the indicator that modern currency is dead?
I don't think so. I think it would just be the fact that there's wide acceptance of it as a sort of digital gold because of its scarcity.
Interesting. But now what does that do to the US dollar, por ejemplo? Nothing? Just it works in tandem?
It depends on what the U.S. does with it. If we have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, it would strengthen the U.S. dollar because that would indicate...
Give it like some sort of backup.
Exactly.
Interesting. I'm excited about Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, so today's show for Check the Market, or Check the News, is Drones Mystery Solved. Did you know that?
What's that?
The drones mystery. It's been solved.
I didn't know that, no.
I'm going to teach you what happened. I'm going to teach you what happened. What'd you say?
I was just looking at articles last night.
Oh, yeah. We solved it.
Awesome.
I'm going to solve it right now for everybody,
Sweet.
for the entire whole wide world.
I'm ready.
So let's get to it. First sign. Here's agenda setting. This is the reason why this drone thing is the most classic example of a persuasion technique that the world has ever seen. Okay, and it's called agenda setting. Happens all of the time. It happened throughout COVID. That's the reason why everybody panicked. And so since jump, I knew that these UFOs were drones. There isn't a single clear drone picture, by the way. Or rather, every single time somebody was like, they would post up on Twitter or X, look, it's got like 4 dots and it's going around in motion and all this kind of stuff. Well, then later on, it would be debunked that it was actually someone's phone that was on the glass and it was like just scattered light.
Did you see Elon Musk's tweet about it?
Which one? The one with the Iran?
With all the airplanes?
Yes. Can you isolate that one? We gotta show.
Pull it up.
We also like anything propagated by the U.S. government, you can automatically listen. I full transparency. I believed in aliens.
Yeah.
Then the government said that they existed, and I stopped believing in aliens. That's the way it works, and that's the way it has to work if you want to stay alive in 2024. So I'm just giving you this because I'm going to just debunk all of this, all the mystery that's happening in New Jersey. Okay, so here's reality in the green. And then, of course, the media, what the media does is that it selects certain portions of reality or it omits certain realities. And so it frames these stories that you're constantly thrown at, okay? So that's all I saw. For the past 2.5 weeks, I'm literally scrolling through, trying to find content for this show, and I'm literally passing by one drone, New Jersey UFO nonsense after the next. And of course, it was the same stuff that we saw in 2020. Same exact stuff. It was like my best friend, whose mother works at the Pentagon, said that the drones are actually sniffing the air for, whatever. It was my Army father who has 40 years of drone experience. He says that they're poisoning the people of New Jersey by spraying stuff into the air. It was nonstop. I mean, remember in 2020 when it was the Kraken? It was like these military experts that they were like, listen, they have the Kraken. It's waiting. It's being, they're holding on to the Kraken. The Kraken's going to come down. And you better believe, what was QAnon? Remember QAnon?
Yes.
This is all the same thing. And what it does is that the more that you see it, right, the more that it gives an appearance of truth. So because they framed it as an important story, that's all you think about. So it gives because of the amount of times that you see it, it gives the illusion of it being true. This is just persuasion 101, yes. Okay? So this is what you are seeing played out in real life. And the reason why I don't trust the government next is because I remember, and here it is, Elon Musk. And let me tell you, if there's anybody that should know about UFOs and aliens, it's this guy, all right? And he has said time and time again, he just doesn't see it. So New Jersey Guide to Aircraft Identification, airplane, drone, fighter jet, drone. And if you...
Drone with props?
No kidding.
Iranian mothership.
So this is, I just love this because he's basically debunking like any myth. These things are coming in from the ocean and of course all of that kind of nonsense. But it's very interesting that we're seeing certain groups of people propagating this storyline. And the moment that the government started talking about, oh, this could be Iran, I was all the way out. I was like, this is such a hoax. It's not even funny. This is another one of those agenda setting, they create a narrative so that you panic and you freak out. Anyway, next.
I used to fly on the Iranian mothership all the time when I lived in Africa.
Did you?
Yes.
What kind of?
A Grand Caravan, Cessna Grand Caravan.
Ooh, scary. Do they have seatbelts?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, thank God. All right, criminal investigation launched after drones spotted by U.S. Air Force over UK. So think about this. I saw this story in November. Nobody talked about it. But this is again, being promoted by the AP. And look at this. Mystery drones were spotted by none other than the U.S. Air Force in the UK. Nobody talked about it. All of a sudden, people are spotting mystery drones in the United States, and we're freaking out. We take any safety issues seriously and maintain robust measures at Ministry of Defense sites, Coker said. This includes counter-drone capabilities. And later on in the article, it says that they couldn't detect the drones, but they could see them, yada, yada, yada. What could they be? Next. Next article. Mixed. This is coming from who wrote this? Is this Newsweek? Unidentified drones have been seen over 3 air bases in Britain, which are used by the United States Air Force, of course, last week. Both countries have confirmed. The USAF confirmed small unmanned aerial systems were spotted flying above the vicinity of Royal Air Force Base in Lankin Heath, Mindenhall, at Feltwell in eastern England between November 20th and the 22nd, the Press Association News Agency reported. Continue. It's unclear at this stage if the drones were spotted were considered hostile. The number of UAS fluctuated and they ranged in size and configuration. Does it sound a little bit like the stories that we've been getting pushed? Of course it does.
Look what Jason just said.
Nobody talks about it. Jason. Some of my fellow New Jerseyers have bought green lasers and are shining them at planes they think are drones, especially by where I live to the This is the kind, but this is, Jason, listen to me. This is
Tell them that they will go to jail.
They would.
Don't do that.
That is so dangerous.
It is.
How do you know what's a friendly aircraft from like a UFO man drone too? You don't. So please don't. But this is the kind of hysteria that they want to push and promote. And so here we have all these different articles, Newsweek, AP, continue, next article. They're pushing this narrative even in England. Mystery drones spotted in the U.S. Air Base in England. Okay, tell me why. There's the media is culpable and of course the U.S. Air Force. So anything coming from the United States government, you can just chalk up to just question everything, because if they're saying that it's something, it's probably something completely different. Next. All right, just in, here it is, totally solved. Biden's DHS released statement on mystery drones enlarge that puppy. Let's read it. There are more than 1 million drones lawfully registered with the FAA in the United States, and there are thousands of commercial hobbyists and law enforcement drones lawfully in the sky on any given day. With the technology landscaping evolving, we expect that number to increase over time. FBI has received tips of more than 5,000 reported drone sightings in the last few weeks, with approximately 100 leads generated. And the general government, or the federal government, is supporting state and local officials in investigating these reports. Consistent with each of our unique missions and authorities, we are quickly working to prioritize and follow these leads. We have sent advanced detection technology to the region, and we have sent trained visual observers. Thank you for sending visual observers that just stand there and probably take pictures. Having closely examined the technical data and tips from concerned citizens, we assess that the sightings to date include a combination of lawful commercial drones, hobbyist drones, and law enforcement drones, as well as manned fixed-wing aircrafts, helicopters, and stars. Ladies and gentlemen, stars. Mistakenly reported as drones. We have not identified anything anomalous and do not access the activity to date to present a national security or public safety risk over the civilian airspace in New Jersey or other states in the Northeast. Continue. That said, we recognize the concern among many communities. We continue to support state and local authorities with advanced detection technology and support of law enforcement. We urge Congress to enact counter-UAS legislation when it reconvenes that would expand existing counter-drone authorities to identify and mitigate any threat that may emerge. Additionally, there have been a limited number of visual sightings of drones over the military facilities in New Jersey and elsewhere, including within restricted airspace. Such sightings near or over DoD installations are not new. DoD takes unauthorized access over its airspace seriously and coordinates closely with federal, state, and local law enforcement authorities as appropriate. Local commanders are actively engaged to ensure there's appropriate detection of mitigation measures in place. All right, so what say you? Sound off.
I mean, that sounds plausible.
Why did it take so long? Why did it take so long?
Because a lot of the videos and things that I saw on Twitter where they were posting up, oh, look, it's a drone. That's clearly an airplane. That's not a drone. The only thing that I saw that was kind of weird was when the drones wouldn't take off, where they are like, okay, I'm going to send my drone up to look at this drone, and it wouldn't.
But we,
but that was the only thing.
If FAA is there's airspace, FAA would stop that. It stopped our drones.
They can, yes, they have.
They can totally do that.
Yes.
So a lot of those areas are near airports as well.
Correct.
So you're talking about that's not that anomalous.
It's not, no.
So what's going on? I would chalk this up as this is one of those stories that gets promoted over and over again, where you're forced to buy into this narrative of hysteria.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, it sells, obviously.
Without a doubt. Everybody wants to know about everybody's talking about it. This is coming from Tim Dillon regarding drones. They're searching for a nuke. Now, please relax and enjoy the holidays. So there was another report saying that there was, missing nuclear something, and they were in search of the nuke. What was interesting also is that the more that I researched on these drones, they would stop flying at exactly 11 o'clock, which is apparently the FAA rules over certain areas.
Yeah, so it's restricted airspace.
Does it sound like a UFO to you? Or does it sound like maybe the
UFOs
U.S. government
following the rules
has UFOs? They know to follow the rules. Next. We don't deserve him. The great state of Canada. All right, moving on to Canada. So there it is. Mystery. The drones mystery is solved. Mm-hmm. It's a narrative made and created to get you into hysterics, potentially even prepping you for the rapture of the church. Okay, because the more that they start kind of implementing like UFOs are alive, when people start getting raptured out of here, they're going to say, "Hey, listen, aliens." And so anyway, that was a side note. But Canada.
Yes.
This is very near and dear to my heart because I really love Montreal. But anyway, and then the way that he trolls this Canadian prime minister, I just can't get enough. The great state of Canada is stunned at the finance minister's resigned or was fired from her position by Governor Justin Trudeau. Her behavior was totally toxic and not at all conducive to making deals which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed. There you have it.
It's a new dawn.
Agreed.
It's a new day.
Next.
It's a new life.
All right. Trudeau and his entire administration are finished. Change is coming. Take a look.
Mr. Speaker, just to underline the chaos we're faced with here, the finance minister resigned the day she was to present the fall budget, which was going to contain a massive deficit overrun. The job then went automatically to the industry minister, who immediately resigned, like on the spot, which then went down the line, and the next person in order was the famous two Randys. And they're not available to do the job either. We're now less than 2 hours away from the fall economic update. Why won't the Prime Minister have the courage to come in here, present it himself, and put it for a confidence vote tonight?
What are your thoughts on Poilievre? What? How do you not love him?
Hey, I mean, he's great. He gives great speeches, but is he going to follow through? Or is he just another politician?
That's absolutely, without a doubt. That's fair. I think that's fair. Especially in Canada, because these people get bought off left, right, and center. Next. There he is. A very tearful Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is reportedly considering resignation from tensions as tensions build following the resignation of the country's finance minister. Let me tell you, they're shaking in their boots. Think about what exactly would tariffs do if they are imposed against Canada, to Canada?
I mean, it would increase the cost of their goods, so people would look for other goods around here.
Let me tell you, it's already hella expensive in Canada.
Yes, absolutely.
So think about that. Think about the price to build a home in Canada. You can't. There's housing shortages left and right. Mm-hmm. And then you create these tariffs or whatever, and you are cooked.
I think it would cause an economic downturn in Canada.
And there is no one to what is Trudeau doing? He literally doesn't have a plan forward. He went to Mar-a-Lago to try to patch things up, and he came over all chummy and whatnot, as if that matters to the Don. Little did he know that Donald Trump would be roasting him for the several weeks to come after. Next. Justin Trudeau has not been seen today. So when he was, all the media was live streaming it. And every Canadian watching the news heard this. Play.
King Trudeau, what gives you the right to continue? What gives you the right to stay in office? You failed Canada. You've ruined our country. You're done. Walk away. You don't have an ounce of your father's integrity. At least he walked in the snow. You've ruined this country. Everyone around you is running from you. They're abandoning you. Chrystia Freeland, Sean Fraser, they've all left you. It's time for you to go. It's time for Canada to have an election. You're not the king. You're not the king of this country. You are not our king. You are a public servant and you have failed.
Dang. How do you really feel? Next. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government may collapse by the end of the night. This is coming from Charlie Kirk. The President Trump's threatened tariff in Canada can't secure the U.S.-Canadian border will be the top culprit. If Trudeau goes down, it will lead to elections where the Conservatives are overwhelmingly favored to win. MAGA doesn't just make America better. Everyone is better off when America stops being a doormat for the world. Next. In-N-Out Burger. It appears as though everybody on X is requesting that In-N-Out changes to beef tallow fries.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Listen, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me with those eyes.
What would those taste like, though? Would they
delicious?
Would they be better?
Delicious. Probably better because it's not some sort of peanut oil or whatever. How dare you? Have you even had, beef tallow?
Yeah, I've had it before. See, some things are meant to be unhealthy. Let's be honest here.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of names were these kids calling you at the pool?
If I go to In-N-Out Burger, I know I'm not getting a healthy meal.
I mean, do you think they're actually going to fall through? Maybe, probably in California.
I would like to have a side-by-side tasting of beef tallow fries.
Matthew, can I get a paper towel? I literally spilled this coffee all over me. Next. No, you don't. You don't really want that. After an Instagram report confirmed what many of us already knew, that the FBI had at least 26 informants on the ground on January 6th, some of whom went into the Capitol. Stephen A. Smith is sick of defending Democrat lies, which leads us into the next kind of part of the show where I believe that people are now even the left is turning into Donald Trump lovers. It's inevitable. They have destroyed the Democratic Party. Think about this. People that have lived and breathed their entire lives as Democrats are now saying, listen, I can't explain this anymore. They suck. Some of this stuff is irreparable. How are the Democrats ever going to come back from this? Not possible. Not possible. Let me tell you why. Mitt Romney just said that Donald Trump effectively switched the Republican Party to the party of the middle class. Mm-hmm. That's irreparable for the Democrats. Because the Democrats used to be the party of the middle ground.
Yes.
And now, not so much. It's the party of elites. It's the party of scolding woke people. Mm-hmm. Who wants to be a part of that?
Nobody.
That's right, nobody. Play.
The news comes amidst a bombshell report from the Justice Department that revealed the FBI had at least 26 confidential informants on the ground when the Capitol was stormed on January 6, 2021. The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appear to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect JD Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. Didn't hear anything about that for the election. Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached. by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, the belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case. And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that process is rigged. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats
It's just the beginning. Let me tell you, it's just the beginning.
Or misrepresented along the way. I mean, I see Republicans like Megyn Kelly or Officer Tatum or Candace Owens or, you know, the Sean Hannitys of the world. You know what I'm getting tired of?
Tell me.
You know what I'm getting to the Democratic Party? You know what I'm getting really pissed off about?
Yeah, what?
I'm getting really ticked off, and every time they open their mouth about something pertaining to y'all, they seem right to make the case.
Dang.
That the right had a monopoly on insidious, evil tendencies, corrupt tendencies, duplicitous, hypocritical, untruthful tendencies.
Uh-oh.
And every time they made those accusations, we turn around and find out that at least some of them are guilty of the same shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of all of it. They've actually made Donald Trump look like he was right instead of them.
Stephen A. Smith.
How do you like me now?
You know, I can hear people getting prayed for in the other room. So we're going to try to keep it down. Next. All right, here we go. Mitt Romney shows some actual grace today on CNN as if I can't believe I would live to see the day. Live to see the day when this guy gives credit where credit is deserved.
No, he wants to be an ambassador.
Let me tell you, he's not alone, because after this, I listen to what Gretchen Whitmer said. These people that were so
Gretchen
Hitler.
Whitmer said something.
Oh, wait, you just wait. Let's play a little bit of what Mitt Romney has to say. Play.
You said in an interview a few months ago that, quote, there's a good chance that the Republican Party is going to need to be rebuilt or reoriented, and that you want to have a voice in the post-Trump Republican Party. Do you think that do you still think there's going to be a post-Trump Republican Party, or is MAGA now the Republican Party?
Oh, MAGA is the Republican Party, and Donald Trump is the Republican Party today. And if you were to ask me who the nominee will be in 2028, I think it'll be JD Vance, all right? He's smart, well-spoken, part of the MAGA movement.
You said something pretty harsh about him a few months ago, though. You could not have less respect for somebody than JD.
Long ago. I'm not going to rehash history. And we've worked together in the Senate since then.
Politicians, I'm telling you, it's hilarious. They'll say something and then on camera, turn around, walk out the door, and that person will be there and be like, hey, bud, how's it going?
I find that to be the most genius answer of all time.
That was pretty good.
Because what ends up happening, think about JD Vance himself and how he used to say some pretty harsh things about Donald Trump. And when asked about it, he's almost apologetic about it.
Yeah.
This guy is just, that was a long time ago. Moving on. That shows that your brain is functioning. It shows that you are able to see things in a scientific manner. It means that as your information is developing, that you're changing your mindset about things, and it shows that you have fresh perspective. Unlike some of these brainwashed politicians that only see things through, only through one lens, okay? So to me, this is looking really good for Romney. And I'm no Romney fan, let me tell you. I am not. Continue.
But that is what the Republican Party is. And will the party need to change? Look, the Republican Party has become the party of the working class, middle class voter. And you've got to give Donald Trump credit for having done that, taken that away from the Democrats. Democrats pushed him out. All right, the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren faction of the Democrat Party with some of this, defund the police and transgenders or excuse me, biological males in women's sports. These things had a lot of people in the middle class just flee the Democratic Party. They're now Republicans. Now, one of the challenges in my party is that our policies do not necessarily line up with the interests of our voters. And so there'll be some reorientation that's going to be necessary in my party. The Democrat Party is the one in trouble. I don't know how they recover. I'm not going to tell them what to do because I would begin to have the capacity to do so. But they've lost their base. Union guys and gals have left the Democratic Party and are voting Republican. And the Democratic Party is seen not as rich people, but as college professors and woke scolds. And that's not an attractive feature.
Now, think about that. Think about how deep that is and how it may never go back to the way that it used to be. The Democratic Party, as we know it, may never look the same ever again.
Yeah.
Because especially after COVID, think about what we had to go through to get to this point. We had to go through almost a shedding of our trust in media, our shedding of trust in government, our shedding of big tech companies, big pharmaceutical companies, and all that kind of stuff. Because before, we were very compliant, right? And we just trust the experts on certain things and trust in their competence, competence being another persuasion technique that people use. So you just kind of sit back and you don't use your brain faculties because somebody stronger, higher up than you knows more than you. What COVID did was it destroyed that. It destroyed that trust that they had built for so long to try to keep you as a little puppet, right?
Yeah.
And to keep you subservient to them and their wealth. So you have now, everybody challenges the media. Everybody knows the media can't be trusted. CNN numbers are down. They're all down. MSNBC is about to be sold. And so you have platforms like X, platforms like Joe Rogan, platforms like Theo Vaughn that are getting all of this clout, and they're getting trustworthy news sources. And what they ended up doing was all of those people that were against the COVID narrative in 2020, they gave them a platform, and now that's the platform that is trusted. So how do you go back to yesteryear where your only weapon was to lie to the public using propaganda, using media? You don't have that anymore.
No.
You definitely don't have star players by any means.
No.
Not even close. What you've exposed this year is that people in the Democratic Party, they are pedophiles. I had to say it. There's people that are pedophiles, that are warmongers, that are literally, you just can't detach those two. So now you have an entire party that is this woke mob. It's the BLM party. It's, even though I think BLM actually just separated themselves even from the Democratic Party recently. Nobody wants to be associated with this party anymore. It's the party of incompetence. It's the party of inflation. It's the party of delusion. And so now what happened, which I never thought would happen, and I remember talking about this in 2020, was that we were always lagging when it came to cultural things as a Republican Party. Yeah. I'm not in the Republican Party because I think I'm just an independent. But what happened was that within 4 years, not only did we match our influence as far as culture, we far surpassed the Democratic Party.
Yes.
And I don't see a way forward for them. I truly don't. What kind of people do they have up their sleeve? Is it the Gretchen Whitmers of the world? She's a psycho. She lied, and what happened to her fake kidnapping? How come that went away so fast?
The only one that I can see that could potentially be a little bit of a threat would be Pennsylvania's Governor Josh Shapiro.
Even then. Even then,
But that's
I could see him even flip-flopping to the Republican side.
Yes, but he's also stayed so much in the background in his tenure as governor. He was way more activist when he was attorney general. As governor, he's been very, from what I can tell, very centrist and has stayed in the background.
No doubt. No doubt. But now you start seeing the Vermont, what's guy? His name? The
Sanders,
Bernie Sanders, who is like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me be a part of the Doge. Let me be a part of this administration. I want to help.
Yeah.
You have Gretchen Whitmer. We're going to take a look at that in a minute, momentarily. And then you have the mayor, whatever, Adams, from New York, basically saying, now I understand why people turn into Republicans. He's going against the narrative. It's not okay to be a part of the Democratic narrative
He's
anymore.
also looking for a pardon.
Without a doubt. Listen, I'm surprised he didn't get one with the 8,000 that Biden gave. Next. All right, here it is. Whitmer signals willingness to work with President-elect. Never did I ever think. This was not on my bingo card this year. Let me tell you what. I know Donald Trump cares about Michigan. People in Michigan voted for Donald Trump, and my oath is to Michigan. People in Michigan, here's what. Michigan Governor, can you enlarge it? I'm so sorry. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer signaled willingness to work with Donald Trump in an interview this week, saying that the president-elect clearly cared about her state. Quote, people in Michigan, likely like a majority of Americans, voted for Donald Trump, and my oath is to Michigan. How noble. Whitmer told CNN at a meeting of Democratic governors in Los Angeles, obviously, I've got experience in this type of environment that will help inform how I continue to fight for Michigan. But I know Donald Trump cares about Michigan, and I'm hoping that because of that, we'll be able to find some common ground in some important ways. So there you have it. Trump won back Michigan in 2024. And of course, you got to make statements like this because the entire state voted against you, Whitmer. So look at that. Even Whitmer is now starting to soften up to the dawn. Next. Never did I ever. Trump, the first term, everybody was fighting me. This term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality has changed or something. Let's take a look. Play. Dang, self-tanner. Let's go.
I did have dinner with Tim Cook.
Tim Cook.
I had dinner
Meta.
with sort of almost all of them, and the rest are coming. And this is one of the big differences, I think, between, we were talking about it before, one of the big differences between the first term. In the first term, everybody was fighting me. In this term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know. My personality changed or something, but...
Next.
Did you see Sam Altman from OpenAI, what he just did?
No.
He just donated $1 million from OpenAI to President Trump's inaugurational committee.
So what's going on with these donations? Is there something that we don't know? Because they're trying to get on his good graces?
Yeah, they're trying to get his attention, basically.
Has that ever been done in the history of inaugurations?
Yes.
A lot of,
sure.
okay, so.
Yeah. They
to me, because I don't know anything about any political, but somebody just said there's no such term as Democratic Party. It's the correct use is Democrat Party, whatever. So we just do check the news. We're not experts by any means. So what happens is that you get a committee that raises funds for the inauguration,
correct?
Assumingly.
That's.
And so you got $1 million from
Sam Altman from
OpenAI, $1 million from
a bunch of other
Meta.
companies. Yes, Meta
donated.
Meta donated.
What was the other one?
I believe
that kissed the ring.
Apple did too.
Apple did.
There was but I mean, you have to get Jeff Bezos.
Yes, Jeff Bezos was another one. That's right. Yes.
So they all want to have, there's government contracts, there's things like that. You want to seem like you're friendly, because if you're not, there might be investigations that are lost if you're openly hostile. You got to try and make peace, and that's what they're trying to do with all of this.
And you know the finger I want to give them, don't you? Next. The art of the deal after SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son will announce a $100 billion investment in the U.S. President Trump asks him to, on the spot, if he'll double it. I mean, no pressure, but This is, if you want to be good at mastering the art of the deal, you just got to just watch what he does. He does this on national TV. He's before a crowd of reporters. He towers over him, so the optics are just delicious. The microphone has to be bent down. As soon as Masayoshi walks in, he literally turns the mic, and you could tell it's just like he's got a little bit of a smirk down, like I gotta point this thing all the way down. Take a look, play.
To go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, $2 is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's all right. I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 million instead of he can believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but he's now asking to do more. I think with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
That's good.
Fine.
200. He'll make it happen. $200 million investment.
He is a great negotiator.
He's a brilliant guy and did an unbelievable job, and the people of Japan and all over the world are very proud of him. They have tremendous respect for him. So what he does, what he just did, and I would be surprised if what didn't go to do it. When you say you'll try, I know you'll do it.
I will really try. And I need your support, though.
You'll have my support.
All right.
You'll have our country's support.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you, my support.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to say hello to the people of Japan who are all...
So good. What? I have goosebumps, by the way.
Great job.
Because
way to put him
is there any chance that that's not going to happen, that he's not going to do $200 billion?
Oh, he's going to do, you can tell he is going to do his best. He's not just saying that.
There's a 0% chance that he's not doing $200 billion. I promise you there's a 0% chance. I'm asking you now. He literally waited. And then the way he shook his hand and pulled him in.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life.
Next. All right, here it is. Army, Navy watched it. Next. It's just a great shot. At least he didn't let her, I can't see this. At least he didn't let up on her just because she's a girl. So this is another sign that DEI is dead. Play. No? Can we turn down the volume and play it one more time? DEI is dead. Shall we?
How do you like me now?
She doesn't even know what way is up at this point.
When did they start co-ed wrestling?
Who knows? Who knows? I promise you it's in New York or some type of blue state. Buckle up, vaccine industry. We're going to look into autism rates is so much higher than it was 30 years ago. It's 100 times higher. There's something wrong, and we're going to try to find out what. So let me tell you, that news conference that he had on Monday was just chock full of this kind of content. But we're not going to watch it right now. Next. Watch Trump teaches reporter a lesson about national security. You got to watch this, though. Play. Pause. Are you entertaining the idea of preemptively attacking Iran's nuclear sites? That's what was just asked.
Why would you say that in a news conference?
I digress. Play.
Against Iran's nuclear.
Well, I can't tell you that. I mean, it's a wonderful question, but am I going to do preemptive strikes? Why would I say that? Can you imagine? If I said yes or no, you'd say, that was strange that he answered that question. Am I going to do preemptive strikes on Iran?
Look, everybody's laughing at him.
Is that a serious question? How could I answer a question like that? Say it?
Would you be in support of Israeli strikes on Iran?
How could I tell you a thing like that now? It's just, So you don't talk about that before something may or may not happen. You know, just I don't want to insult you. I just think it's just not something that I would ever answer having to do with there or any other place in the world.
And I ask, just fairly, do you believe there's a connection between?
Bunch of losers. You're gonna have to clean up their act around him. Let me tell you.
Are you going to
unless they want to get roasted every
send
time.
nukes into Iran?
Yeah. Are
on
you going to
January
start
20th?
war with Iran? Trump, if Gaza hostages aren't released before inauguration, it won't be pleasant. It's not going to be pleasant. Dude, this is so much to unravel. I mean, are you serious? Gosh, how many days are left till the inauguration, January 20th?
Just what, just over 30 days?
34 days. Thank you, guys. Look at this, how beautiful this is. U.S. President inauguration, 34 days. And then I was telling them last week that January 20th, I'm like keeping a countdown for January 20th. It's actually on his birthday. And I never even made the connection because I'm so excited about him being inaugurated. So I would assume January 17th, all of the hostages get set free, unless they're all dead. And then at that point, see you later.
Did you ever
Hellfire and
see
brimstone.
The just the optics of it was insane. That MOAB bomb, mother of all bombs, when he struck like an Afghanistani cave complex with it.
I don't think I
just
have.
Reduced it to rubble.
Isn't that wonderful?
You need to look it up on YouTube.
Hey, why don't they look it up? Go ahead, grab the MOAB bomb.
Yeah, when he sends the MOAB bomb into Afghanistan, Trump, just to send a message. I mean, this thing's like it is the. And, you know, if somebody's from the military, they can correct me if they're wrong. But I believe it is the strongest conventional bomb that's not a nuclear weapon.
Holy moly.
And he
was it
sent
you who
one
was
of those.
telling me that, like, the major ups were, there was a secret, what was it? There was a mission, and there's, like, the elite kind of, like, Army, Marines. What was that story about?
There was, I was reading about this story or watched the story where this guy, he was in the elite Delta force, and they were protecting this area, this courtyard in either Iraq or Afghanistan, one of the two. And this guy was sitting there, he was focused on, on the mission, and another guy snuck up behind him and said his name. And this guy was like in shock. He's like, "Who are you?" And so the guy says, I forget what the name is. Whatever the name of the unit is, but I guess it is the elite of the elite. So this guy snuck up on somebody in Delta Force.
Holy cannoli.
And then and left again.
Think about that. And then under Trump, what that team
Yeah, those
like.
now that I know that, that's crazy. They could take out anybody they wanted to.
Gosh. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's one of the first things that I'm sure they're going to do is clean up with the DEI kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Next.
You say that there will be hell to pay if the hostages are not released before January 20th. What does that mean?
Well, they're going to have to determine what that means. But it means it won't be pleasant.
Mr. President,
Next.
It's not going to be pleasant.
All right, breaking Syrian prisoner freed by CNN last week is Salama Mohammed Salama, notorious Assad regime torturer. Again, if you're watching CNN and you're thinking that you're getting any sort of credible news source, this lady, by the way, I don't know if you can isolate the clip of her faking like she was a part of, there was I can't remember where she was, maybe in Afghanistan, and she was pretending that she was, her entire crew was under fire, and she's just kind of like laying down, like fearing for her life, and then in the background, there's just like a bunch of children playing and stuff.
Oh, and
Same lady.
Yeah, when
Same lady.
Supposedly rockets were being fired into,
That's right. That's right.
Israel or something like that.
That's what it was.
And she was like, "Oh, the rockets are falling right now," but there's people just walking.
Yeah, and
in the
everyone.
background.
So this is the same lady, okay? And
I saw this. I didn't know that he was a regime torturist.
When people were like, they started commenting, "Oh my goodness, how brave! Oh my God!" I thought, how this is our children's church could put on a better production than this. I promise you, they could. I promise you they could. When it was immediately posted, I responded something like, "Is that a Banana Republic sweater that he has on?" Because he is crispy clean, no dirt on his fingers. He looks fat. He looks healthy. Take a look at this, okay? He's not getting an Academy Award anytime soon. Take a look. Play.
If there was something under the blanket. Oh, it moved. Is there someone
It moved.
Is someone there?
Does he speak English? You dummy.
This is rough.
It's so cringe. Look at those jeans. So clean.
I'm a civilian, he says. I'm a civilian.
Look at her face. Did you see her? Oh my gosh, I want to punch her.
Has been in the cell for 3 months. Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. He clutches my arm tightly with both hands. Okay. Does anyone have any water?
Water? He's not even dehydrated.
Mike. Okay, it's water. It's water. Okay.
How does he still have a job?
Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
That's rough. I mean, that is rough to watch.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Let me tell you, this is information warfare. This was their only strategy since probably 9/11.
I mean,
now the regime is over because people are so done with that kind of nonsense.
It makes for
So
good
done.
television. I mean, they're
Without a
they're
doubt.
basically
But so
making
does
their own news.
freaking SpongeBob. You know what I'm saying? It's just at this point, the cost is way too heavy to buy into any of this garbage. He was, not only was he not a prisoner of war, he was one of the Assad's torture guys. It was one of the worst tortures. Like, they have the worst torture chambers in like recorded history. He was one of the torturing guys. All right, take a look at another masterful piece from CNN. Play.
Is on the ground right now. Clarissa, tell us what's happening.
Stand by.
Hi, John. So forgive me, I have a slightly unelegant position, but we have just had a massive barrage of rockets coming in here, not too far from us. So we have had to take shelter here by the roadside. We're just about 5 minutes away. Gaza is in that direction. We can hear now a lot of jets in the sky. We could also hear the Iron Dome intercepting a number of those rockets as they were whizzing overhead and making impact in that direction, not too far from here. We came to this location because this was ground zero for this entire operation of carnage. Hamas militants came.
Next. I can't do it. I can't do it. Also, she must know that whether you're lying down or not, a rocket is a rocket. Isn't that right? All right. So
it's going to hit the ground whether you're running or lying.
Without a doubt, if you're standing up, if you're on a tree, it's coming. 2 killed, suspect dead in school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin, police say. Next. Did you hear about this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so sad. Shooting at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin on Monday morning, just before 11 a.m. Madison police responded to the mass shooting at a private local school, or a school located at whenever. In Madison, Madison's chief police, Sean F. Barnes, says a second grade student called 911. There's so much about this story that I'm flabbergasted. The same chief of police also said, when asked, was there metal detectors at the school? He looked at the reporter or whatever, and he said, why would there need to be metal detectors at a school? Literally, straight face. I don't know what kind of world he's living in. But if you don't have a metal detector in your school, why don't you have a metal detector at this point? The shooting took place inside of a classroom at study hall occupied by students in various grades, Barnes said. The shooter has been identified as 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, a student at the school who lived in Madison. A student at the school. Okay, so she went to the school. Mm-hmm. Dang. How do you not read the signs? I mean, I guess I digress. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of anything. Who lived in Madison and went by the name of Samantha. Is Samantha her middle name? Why does Natalie go by the name of Samantha? So there's clearly mental health issues. Okay. Yes. It is believed she died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound after opening fire in the school. Continue. What we do know is this child was obviously very troubled, Barnes said in an interview with CBS Morning on Tuesday. There's usually some type of warning sign that we may have missed, and so we have to understand that we have to come together as a community. We have to wrap our arms around our children and understand what's going on in their lives. Police said the two people who died in the shooting were a teenage student and a teacher. According to Pastor Chris Dawson, who was speaking at a vigil for the victims on Monday night, the teacher who was killed may have been a substitute. There's a woman who called in sick today. Oh my gosh. She's a teacher. And there was a substitute that came in to take her place that was shot and killed, Dolson said. Survivor guilt kicks in when those things happen. Holy cannoli. Of all of the days to get a sick day. Mm-hmm. Holy snap. CBS News has not identified or confirmed the teacher's identity. 5 other students and another teacher were injured. 2 of the wounded students remain in critical condition with life-threatening injuries Monday night, Barnes said. The surviving teacher and 3 other students were treated for non-life-threatening injuries, and 2 of those victims have been released while the other 2 have been stabilized, Barnes says. Barnes confirms officers found the teenage shooting suspect at the scene apparently having shot herself, and officers fired no shots. Police said the suspect used a 9mm pistol, and police were working to trace the gun. Next. Done with the article. There it is. Community notes, curb stomp. Brutal community note takedown. Trump won't do a darn thing about school shooting. Harris would have. And there's the community note. Kamala Harris is currently in office. How do you like me now? Next. This is the best little info clip here. I'm not going to read this because it's almost 12. But this is about the school shooter. Next. What's this? Just in, President Biden releases a statement calling for gun control after Wisconsin school shooting, which of course is part of the shenanigans with this administration. Okay, absolutely. This was to be expected. Next. There she is. Interesting on the left, photo of Columbine school mass murderer Eric Davis Harris, and that's her to the right. That's it for the show today. I know that we're leaving on such a crazy note. This is the world that we're living in. Hopefully, I don't know how to end that. That sucks. All right, here, you know what? Britt Gusmus, take it away. Cleanse our palate, Britt. Cleanse our palate.
What are some of the qualities you look for in a good friend? They're trustworthy, they're honest, they're loyal, they're kind, they're loving, they're generous, they do what they say they're going to do. All of those things, right? What if you had a good friend who bore the weight of all of your ugliness, your pride, your envy, your greed, your lust, your anger, all of it? Would you come to that friend? Would you want him to be your friend? I hope so. And you know who that good friend is? Jesus Christ bore it all, carried the weight of everything that is ugly in you. Now that's a friend that I can trust. How about you? Rejoice in this day. Be glad in it because he made it.
Oh my goodness, tell me why. Police detained 14 people in Aurora, Colorado at the very same apartment complex where armed Venezuelan gangs were threatened. This is just...
It's a new dawn.
All of a sudden it's okay to come after these guys. Before it was just like, keep away from them. Keep away from them.
That just shows you that Trump is president right now.
Without a doubt. That's the moral of the story, or in the words of Camila, that's the moral of the story. Absolutely, people are freaking out, and it's just thrilling. It's thrilling. Here are the ways for you to donate and partner with this amazing ministry. Let me tell you, with your partnership, you're going to get a new Dawn t-shirt, which I have mine ready to go. It's upstairs, and I just have yet to put it on. It's a new Dawn. There it is. It's a little play on words, okay? That should have been, it's a new Dawn, D-O-N, but I digress. And it kind of looks like the little folds here on top of Check the News. Doesn't it look like Trump's face folded in there? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Here are the ways that you can partner with Revival Today. We've got Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, #donate, or you can text RT to 50155. If you've got Bitcoin, scan the code and check out all of the wonderful ways to give. Don't forget this very important step, which is to claim your gift. Go to revivaltoday.com/offer and claim that wonderful t-shirt, and we will see you. I missed one way of giving, didn't I? Mail. There it is. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7. Does P.O. Box have to have periods in between it? P.O? Or is that just like a formality that nobody goes by anymore?
Yeah.
Did you send out Christmas cards?
Why would you use comma?
Talking about formalities, did you send out Christmas cards?
Just a formality. Bethany was working on them yesterday.
Oh, nice. I sent most of mine. I think I have a couple left.
Yeah, she was working on them last night, so I'm sure she's going to send them out today.
That's wonderful. I love Christmas cards. All right, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, PA, 15329. That's it for the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Tara and Greg and Maddie and Sandra and Hamilton, Art and Alicia and J Court 4807. Oh, I thought it said ban. Apologies because Mitt and Romney's turn to a kind of party. Have a blessed day. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye. Yeah.
What's it like seeing so many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan? Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
F*** you.
Rallies Up magazine, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, guard your chin. I won't ever slack up, commies better back up. Try to cheat again and you'll the whole country act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump across the ceiling. MAGA, let the love float, Democrats corrupt. Yo, we know it's do or die. We taking it all back, so feeling, drunken, amp central force where we got more fun. Bust it out, retribution, Dealey's team. The memes can get memed, it lives coast to coast with on my one machine. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump. I'll serve just like tiny meatball. If you step out of line, you're taking a fall. Word to your moms, ballparks and farms. I got more rallies than Bible got psalms. And just like the prodigal son, I've returned. Anyone stepping in me, you'll get burned. Cause I got voters and you ain't got none. If you want a battle, come and get some. But if you do, you're a fool, cause DT is the best. After we take your seat, then you can protest. I got the skill, come get your fill. Cause when it's said and done, I'm standing still. I came to get down, I came to get down. So get out your seat and jump around, jump around, jump around, jump around. Trump up, White House bound. Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 everybody Trump, 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 Trump.